Idubbz Creator Clash is said to be the biggest failure in influencer boxing in YouTube history. Let me explain how Creator Clash 3 had to be sold off. It has no hype, some of the title cards are dropping out, no one wanted to sub in, and it's on the same day as the Jake Paul fight. And Ian and Anissa failed in the past as well. Idubbz famously dropped his content cop on his former longtime friend H3H3 in an attempt to defend Hassan Piker, which is a story in and of itself. But the reason why this impacted Creator Clash 3 is one of the title cards is famously associated with Ethan, AB's wife Lena. AB and his wife have been very neutral. They kept the professional courtesy on both sides, but Ian directly called out his boss and implied AB is forced to accept Ethan's opinions out of fear of losing his job, which immediately put pressure on them to pick a side. To add to that, Harley Mornstein, a literal YouTube legend, tried to remain neutral with the content comp, but Bad and Panada began harassing him and slandering him. Ian chose to stay silent on this matter, which, thanks to the content cop, means their silence means something. They endorse the harassment. To add insult to injury, Harley was a strong advocate for everyone receiving fair, equal wages for the charity event, but he found out LA Beast, his opponent, was paid far more than him, despite the fact that this is his third fight. He's led the charge in promotion, he's defended Ian and Anissa more than anyone else. A massive, unnecessary betrayal. In the first event, they raised $1.1 million. The only real controversy was his treatment of Sam Hyde, who's a very controversial figure, but he trained Harley and was prior was the subject of an Idubbz documentary that Hyde purposely sabotaged to make Ian look like a prick. Hyde paid for his own tickets but was refused at the door. All in all, a prick move by Ian, but understandable considering Ian didn't want him to sabotage the event and didn't want Hyde's name associated with the event. Harley chose to defend Ian over Hyde, which is kind of ironic considering Ian's eventual backstab. In the second event, Harley chose not to train with Hyde out of respect for Ian. Froggy Fresh, on the other hand, another YouTube legend, decided to train with Hyde in his stead, which resulted in behind-the-scenes talks, and soon after, Froggy made a passing joke about subscribing to Anissa's OnlyFans if he lost to Chris Raygun. Anissa's mother insulted Froggy on Twitter and suggested they fire him on Twitter. Froggy responded in a video tweet and was quickly fired thereafter. Here's the quick context. Anissa is a longtime friend of Chris Raygun. They had a podcast together, and the common theory online is that Anissa bare minimum had a crush on him. Froggy making the joke was a poke at their past for boxing promotion. This led to a Twitter space where the commentary community lambasted Harley Mornstein for defending Ian's silence and his actions. Ian and Anissa then threatened a lawsuit if he didn't pay back the salary he received for putting his life on pause to train for the fight, which opened the revelation that the charity boxing event was using the funds that were supposed to go to charity to pay minimum of $20,000 for every fighter involved for training, then an additional $10,000 after the event. They eventually dropped the legal threat and let him keep the money because he did spend the time training and it just wasn't worth the hassle. But the worst part is, this was all 3 weeks before the event, and the fighter they got to replace Froggy Fresh was a complete height and weight advantage, to the point I legitimately think Ian was trying to purposely humiliate Chris Raygun. After the event was over, Ian revealed he lost $100,000, not because of Froggy Fresh. He blamed it on piracy. However, in addition to paying his rich influencer friend fighters $20,000 each for 8 months of training and promo, which they didn't really promo, he wasted the money flying out his unrelated influencer friends and putting them in a hotel for a week and hosting parties. Due to their negligence, Ian ended up doing a charity stream where he did earn enough money to pay off his debt, but it's not a good thing he massively screwed up and forced his audience to spend another $200,000 to save him from committing charity fraud. Creator Clash is supposed to be a charity boxing event that brought in some of the biggest old names and gave them a chance to fight for their charities. However, since the first event, it's been strife with drama, minimal advertisement, misuse of charity funds. Shout out Nicholas Diorio, my favorite drama streamer, for being the biggest critic of the event and being the central place for all this information.